Welcome to this deep dive. You sent us some really thought-provoking stuff this book, looking at Ikigai, the Japanese idea about, a long and happy life. It focuses on the centenarians in Okinawa.
Right, that's the one. Ikigai, the
Yeah,
Japanese secret to a long and happy life.
exactly. So, okay, our mission here is to really dig into what Ikigai actually is, understand the whole Okinawan lifestyle thing that seems to lead to such long lives, and, well, see how these ideas might give you a new angle on living a more fulfilling life.
hmm And you gave us these summaries, key takeaways from the book. It's got some fascinating observations, definitely some guiding principles in there.
Right. Which brings us to the big question, I guess.
Okay.
What is Ikigai? It seems so core to the Okinawan way. And how does knowing about it maybe offer the book calls it a shortcut, which is interesting.
Yeah, that phrasing.
A potential shortcut to a more fulfilling, maybe even longer life, judging by Okinawa.
It's a great question, and the book starts pretty directly. It defines Ikigai as your reason for being. That thing that gets you out of bed in the morning. That deeper sense of purpose.
That idea of a real purpose driving you forward, that kind of hits home, doesn't it? It's more than just, punching the clock.
Totally.
Now, the book uses this framework, these four overlapping circles, to explain it. Can you walk us through those elements?
Sure. So the book lays out these four key areas. First, there's what you love, your passions, things that genuinely bring you joy.
Okay.
Second, what you are good at. So your skills, your talents, stuff you excel at.
Right.
Third is what the world needs, like your mission, how you can contribute something positive. It doesn't have to be huge, just something.
Makes sense.
And fourth, what you can be paid for, your
Yeah.
profession, basically, how you make a living.
So the sweet spot, the Ikigai, is where all four of those overlap.
Yeah.
It's not just enough to love something. Ideally, you're good at it. It helps someone, and you can get paid for it. Is
Eh.
that the idea?
That's exactly it. The book really stresses that convergence. You might love a hobby but not be great at it, or have a skill no one pays for right now. Ikigai is finding that harmony between all four.
Okay. And Okinawa, with all its centenarians, is the book's big real-world example, right?
Yeah.
What did the authors actually see there that links to Ikigai and people living so long?
Well, what's striking is this ingrained sense of purpose. The book points out they often skip that whole Western idea of just stopping work completely at retirement.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, people tend to stay active, involved in work or community stuff they find meaningful, like way into their later years, feeling needed, feeling like you're still contributing. That seems really powerful.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Ah.
If your Ikigai is tied to something meaningful that keeps giving you purpose, why would you stop entirely? It's like that drive keeps you vital.
Exactly. And the book also highlights these incredibly strong social connections in Okinawa. They call them moai. They're like lifelong support groups.
Boy.
Yeah, this deep sense of belonging, mutual support, it's seen as another crucial piece for their well-being and probably their longevity. You have to consider the psychological boost from that constant support.
So it's purpose and community,
Mm.
not just individual striving. That connection must be huge. But the book also gets into the more tangible stuff too, right? The anti-aging secrets like diet and activity.
Oh, definitely. Diet's a big one. They talk a lot about hara-hachibu.
Or hachibu.
Yeah, it's this practice of eating only until you feel about 80% full. That kind of mindful eating, plus a diet heavy on vegetables, tofu, fish, and very little sugar,
Yeah.
seems to have major health benefits. Think about calories, nutrient density.
Eating until 80% full.
Mm.
That takes some real self-awareness, huh? Finding satisfaction without being stuffed. And the food focus sounds incredibly healthy.
It does, and it goes hand in hand with consistent but gentle physical activity. It's not usually about hitting the gym hard. It's more built into the day. Things like gardening, walking, maybe some gentle tai chi, sustained low-impact movement.
So it's a really holistic picture then. Purpose, community, mindful eating, regular movement, all working together.
Okay, the book also brings up flow. I find that concept really interesting. How does flow fit in?
Right, so they pull from the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is that state where you're completely immersed in something, you lose track of time, you're not self-conscious, just totally absorbed.
Right, being in the zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The book suggests that when your work or hobbies get you into that state of flow, it's deeply tied to happiness. And they noticed Okinawans often engage in activities they enjoy without rushing, which probably leads to more flow moments.
That makes total sense. When you're in flow, you're not worrying or distracted, just fully present. That must be incredibly restorative, mentally, maybe physically too, less stress.
It seems likely.
Yeah.
And it loops back to Ikigai, right? If your reason for being involves activities that naturally put you in flow, you get this really positive cycle going. Engagement, enjoyment. It feeds itself. Okay, so we're getting a pretty clear picture of Ikigai
Yeah.
and how it seems to work in Okinawa. But for us, for the listener,
Mhm.
how do you even start finding your Ikigai? The book gives some questions for that, right? For
Right.
self-reflection.
Yes, it offers a practical way to look inward. 4 key questions. First, what do you love? What genuinely brings you happiness? Identifying your passions.
Okay.
Second, what are you good at? What skills and talents do you have? That's your vocation, your strengths.
Got it.
Third, what does the world need? How can you contribute something meaningful? That's your mission piece.
World needs, right.
And fourth, what can you be paid for? Can you potentially earn a living from your passions or skills? That's the profession aspect.
And you're meant to really explore those 4 areas honestly and see where they might overlap for you. It might not line up perfectly right away, but it points you in a direction, starts the process.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
Your ikigai might shift as you change. The main thing is to keep reflecting, keep asking those questions.
The book also mentioned other parts of the Okinawan way, beyond just individual Ikigai, diet, exercise. Those Moai groups sounded key, but what else?
Yeah, the moai are central. Those lifelong support networks offer companionship, emotional support, even financial help sometimes. But beyond that, the book notes this generally positive mindset in the culture, a focus on gratitude, being present, mindfulness, essentially. Appreciating small things seems really baked in.
It sounds like such an interconnected way to live. Your own well-being is tied up with communities and this sort of optimistic outlook.
Precisely. It's less about just individual success and more about kind of collective flourishing and just a generally joyful approach to the day-to-day.
So, okay, as we kind of wrap this deep dive up, what are some of the really concrete, actionable tips for the book that our listener could actually try? Things you can do wherever you live.
Yeah, there are several practical takeaways. One is considering hara hachibu, just paying more attention to feeling full, maybe stopping a bit earlier. 2, consciously staying active in ways you actually enjoy. A walk, gardening, whatever works.
Right.
3, actively nurturing your social connections, making time for people. 4, trying to pinpoint activities that get you into that flow state and making space for them.
Find your flow.
And finally, deliberately cultivating a positive mindset, practicing gratitude, focusing on the present, little things.
Those all feel pretty tangible, not like you have to overhaul your life overnight, but just introducing small, consistent habits. That feels doable.
Absolutely. It's about integrating these things naturally in a way that works for you.
So bringing this all together, the big takeaway seems to be that a fulfilling, maybe longer life isn't some magic bullet. It's more about finding a meaningful balance, right? Purposeful activity, your ikigai, strong relationships, and looking after yourself physically and mentally. And it's amazing how linked they all seem.
That sums it up really well. Living intentionally, feeling connected, appreciating the moment, it all ties
Yeah.
together.
So for you, our listener, maybe think about this. Those 4 Ikigai elements, love, skills, world's needs, getting paid, which one feels strongest for you right now? Or maybe which one feels the most neglected? And perhaps more crucially, what's just one small thing you could do, maybe this week, to explore that particular element a bit more on your own path? Definitely some food for thought there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.